Good evening, everyone. It's Tom Sydney Bushnell, aka Numbers, here from Psych.Club, from my new channel, Top of Your Game with Tom Numbers and News with Tom Numbers on Locals. I've got my buddy in the house. Well, not literally in the house, but in the Zoom house. I've got ISMAEL Perez. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well, Tom. Just got back from a book tour, which was very successful. Had an opportunity to meet a lot of amazing people who share their own stories regarding their experience with, the supernatural, near-death experiences, abduction, and all kinds of stuff. So it was a really great tour. I really enjoy meeting other people that are awakened in our community.
Yeah. Where did you start and where did you go and when did you come back?
Well, I started the first week of November on the 11th, the second week rather. I kicked it off with Stairway to the Stars conference, which was phenomenal. I had a chance to speak on the AI panel with others. Some people were for AI,
Yeah.
and a couple of us were against AI. So it seems like, even within this community, the inorganic timeline has been infiltrating us, where people are pushing the idea that through AI we could achieve immortality or spirituality. And to me, that's totally blasphemy. And of course, that's the path of the Antichrist. So I had an opportunity to be on the AI panel, on the Ascension panel, with no other than Dr. J.J. Hortak and Desiree, who have pretty much the pioneers in this movement, disclosure, ascension, the Great Awakening. And then I also did my own presentation, which, by the way, I will be repeating. That's a presentation that breaks down the 15-dimensional time matrix, the cosmic structure. I go in depth, revealing the different advanced civilizations and much more, the different types of interstellar organizations that are related and associated with the Emerald Order, the Fallen Ones, commonly known as what? The dark side.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to repeat that presentation over at the Los Angeles Conscious Life Expo, which is coming up this February on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. So, for those that attend the Conscious Life Expo, I'm going to be doing a presentation in the rabbit hole. It's called the rabbit hole, right? You go
Down
into
the
the
rabbit hole.
Exactly. So I'm excited about that. So my tour ended in Florida, from Stairway to the Stars. I went over to Utah, and then from there I went over to Colorado. From Colorado, I flew over to New York, and then from New York I went to Florida. So I just ended it in Florida about 2 weeks ago. I've been back for about 2 weeks.
Nice. So was this purely your own tour or mixed with like the conference at the beginning and you kind of did some way you were a guest, but then others it was purely your ISMAEL tour? Was it a bit of both?
Well, no, it was all purely my tour. It was just me letting people know where I was going to be and stuff, and I was going to do a presentation involving Q&A, of course, picture, book signature.
Okay, so it was you touring, but I mean, like the first one, you went to a big expo, so you were there as well, and then you did other ones stops along the way.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
Now,
that's
the
cool.
Los Angeles Conscious Live Expo, you have to, I guess, I will give you guys a link, for you to provide here for those that are attending the Conscious Live Expo. Make sure that you guys get your ticket through the link now, because it's only $50 to attend my 2-hour presentation. Otherwise, if you go there in person, it's going to be $10 more. It's going to be $60 at the door. So make sure you guys get your ticket through the link.
Okay, cool. Do that. And we were just talking off screen. So you carry something in your pocket, ISMAEL? I'm going to mention this. Have you got it on you?
It's in my other pocket. I just got back from the gym. Normally, I don't take it to the gym because I don't want to lose it. But on a daily basis, what I do
Are
is
you
I
able to
put it.
grab it? Is it in the kit in the back room? Are you able to grab it?
Oh yeah, I'm able to grab it. 1 second.
Yeah, grab it if you would. Yeah. This is good. Shungite and Orgonite. ISMAEL's using it just like I do. Sleeping pod. The garden puck. You can put that in your pocket as well or sleep with it. You got your pyramid. I did that on the Gene Decode show last night. And I got my pendant. But ISMAEL's a fan of it and he's going to tell you his experience.
You know what? I think it fell out of my pocket in my car. If you want, I go to outside and go get it in my car, but I don't have it in my pants right now. But it's in my car because I had it yesterday. So what I do is I carry that the piece you just showed us.
The
I
blue
carry
one.
that.
Yeah.
The blue one. I carry that in my pocket where I put my cell phone. So it protects me from the RF frequency emanating off my phone.
Yeah.
And it protects my, my testicles and my privates and all that stuff.
Keep those protected at all times.
The jewels, right?
just everyone take a deep breath and protect those at all times. There you go.
Exactly. So I carry it everywhere I go. And then the bigger one.
Get me two, Utah. Get me two. That's a line from Point Break, with Gary Busey.
Yeah. That one I put behind my pillow when I sleep. So it protects me from, the negative frequencies, Wi-Fi, and all that stuff.
Good stuff. That way there will be a link below. You can click it on Ismael's video, you can get it through him, or on my video, you can get it through me. So the link will be there, and it's a great Christmas gift. It's a great Christmas gift. Have you got this? Have you got the green one as well, Ismael, or just the blue one?
I think I have them both. I have them both.
So that one you can put. So this is something else you might like for next time. You might even have the big one. Do you have the big yellow one and the big black one?
I do. Yeah, I do.
You could put that in the fridge. So if I've got it here. So if you put this in the fridge, so this is what I do. So I've got two of these. This is called the Shungite Orgonite charging plate. Mm-hmm. So I've got a black one identical to this in the fridge, and that preserves like fruits, vegetables for weeks on end. I had blueberries in there. They were in there for 7 weeks, and they were perfect. So this preserves your fruits and vegetables. And I like to just have a bottle of water, and I put the water on the charging plate. So what it does is it structures the water, gives it this kind of nice creamy effect, and it's better for you, structured water. So yeah, it's really good with the phone, sleeping, general protection, and for your food, for your vegetables, your fruits, etc. So put that in your fridge and start charging your water. Put a jug of water on and tell me your experience next time. So yeah.
All right, sounds good
stuff. All right, buddy. So it's close to Christmas, so we want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. And I'm going to share a number, or two numbers. So I have a thing about November 5th. I think it's the most important date in the calendar for what we're doing, what we're involved in. And it also correlates to Christmas. So if you do, Christmas is 110, which is the Christ, which is the power, which is president. So if you do the president, it comes to 143, which is November 5th. Kryptonian, November 5th. And if you just do Christmas or Magic Christmas, or the Christmas, it's 143 in numbers, which is November 5th. And Eric Trump said last year, when I saw him in Idaho, he said, "Oh, we're going to have a wonderful Christmas." And I was like, "Okay, which Christmas? Is it Christmas, or another one?" Anyway, hold on to your hats, everyone. But I wanted to share that 143. It's an important number. So what have you got for us, Ismael? We're on YouTube, so we're going to keep it clean. But what have you got? An inspiring message, of hope, the future. What have you got for us, buddy?
Well, I just want everyone to know that, we can't lose hope. We can't lose hope. There is this thing called the time wars, which is a battle that is taking place between super AI, which is where we're heading, right? They call it the technological singularity, right? And us, but us using our full capacity, our metahuman angelic abilities. So like I mentioned before, we are at the precipice of Homo sapiens sapiens. We're about to enter an era where you're going to have the rise of human 3.0. But you're either going to take the transhumanist path and become a cyborg, or you're going to do it through the activation of your own DNA through the great solar flash when it happens. The people that do the work, they will activate and they will transform from their mortal body into an immortal body. And that's been prophesied about in all the ancient records. So you're going to have, that war between the angelic humans, which is us in the future, and AI has been going on for quite some time, which fluctuates the timelines. But from what I understand is that thank God to Tesla. Nikola Tesla was able to develop time travel before the deep state, and the Trumps and Tesla were able to travel into the future and win against the deep state on every probable timeline. And because of that, the deep state had no chance of doing anything by the time that they were able to develop time travel in the 1950s. So they've been pinned down on every probability. So the light already won. It's just a matter of time, you know. I don't like giving dates, but what we do know, and what we can't see evidently, is that, you know, the deep state is in their last, they're hanging by a straw. In other words, they're in their last days. And it's been taking a long time to clean up the underground dumps, all the tunnels. And right now, as I speak, they're conducting a huge house cleansing in the headquarters of the negative Anunnaki tunnel, which were those that followed Enki. And those tunnels exist in Africa. So for the last few months, there's been a huge battle going on between the 10th generation super soldiers, which is working with Space Force and the Alliance, and the Draco reptilians that exist within the underground tunnels of Africa. So once we clear those up, which is going to be before the end of the year, and coupled with 45, you know, going to court in March and presenting the evidence that we need to the Supreme Court about the voter fraud and all that stuff, it's all going to beautifully.
Is that in March? Is that when it is? I don't always keep my eye on all the narrative of all the political stuff. So is that when it is?
Yeah, March. This March 45 is scheduled to go to court.
Does it have a day in March? Is it March 4th or when is it?
I'm not sure, but all I know is that 10 years ago, I had a vision that in 2024, there was going to be a huge shift in economic power from the dark hats to the white hats, which means that we're going to witness the end of, you know, the Western economy as we know it. And that also has to do with the idea that through Tucker Carlson and the reinstatement of Alex Jones, which was awesome, you know, they're going to start giving us droplets of disclosure for the masses, for the normies who have no clue of what's been going on for the last few hundred years. And so what's going to be happening is when the white hats take over the airwaves, including the mass media through Project Odin, everything's going to shut. You know, the grid's going to go down, but Mr. Musk through Starlink is going to take over the airwaves, and then that's when the white hats are going to be announcing what's been going on, you know, for many, many days. So that's what they call the 3 days of darkness, or the 10 days of darkness. And so they're letting everyone know that, you know, it's time to prep. You know, make sure you guys have 2 weeks worth of food supply, water, perhaps even a generator, because things are about to, you know, we're going to be entering the eye of the storm pretty soon. But yeah, the storm is already here. The storm's already here. It's been taking many years, Tom, because of the fact that there's so many underground tunnels, so many subterranean networks in which a lot of these dark entities have been lurking for thousands of years. And so, you know, priority is to rescue the children, to rescue the humans from all the nasty stuff that's been going on in these subterranean tunnels. Once the children are rescued, then the white hats, what they do is they drain the tunnels with water. And so some of the rains that have been happening have been manipulated by the white hats in order to drain these tunnels. And once they do, as we get close to March of 2024, they're going to be in a position to release the truth to the general public. At which point, the Mockingbird media is going to collapse. The pharmaceutical, you know, whatever you want to call it, all that stuff, the AMA, the educational system as we know it, because that's even corrupt, government as we know it, the IRS, which was legally ratified, everything's going to collapse. And, you know, people are going to be getting their humanitarian funds. I believe it's done through tiers, right? You know, and
that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Tears in rain. Sorry, I'm quoting Blade Runner now. I'm getting
so I hope everybody has an idea as to what they're going to do with their humanitarian funds when all of a sudden money's not an issue anymore, you know. And that's going to be A day of celebration here on planet Earth, the Great Jubilee.
Yes. Level playing field 176. Back to the Future 176. Full disclosure 176. Full conclusion 176. November the 5th 176. Yeah. And you talk about the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court is 174. And that's Eye of the Storm, which you mentioned, 174. 174 is currency exchange. It's the very first piece of gematria, simple gematria, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, that President Trump and Melania showed to us when they came down the escalators, right above their heads at Trump Tower 169, the Great Awakening 169. They had currency exchange, and they came down the golden escalators. A little bit like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the escalator, because that's the second book, isn't it? The elevator, or the elevator, not the escalator. Anyway, but that's not there now. I was there last year in New York. That's not there. And maybe they put it back up again, but I wouldn't have thought so. They've got 17 flags in the foyer facing that right now. So they're telling us all the time. But 174 is Trust the Plan, it's Eye of the Storm, and it's Supreme Court. And it's Donald's handle in on Twitter and Truth. So real Donald Trump is 174. Even like Luke Skywalker, you know, that's Darth Vader, but that's Consciousness 175, but Luke Skywalker is 174. And Star Wars is 119. It's there's a dark and a light side to that, but the light side is Nikola Tesla 119 redemption, Mary Magdalene. I feel that next year 2024 is going to be the biggest year of all of our lives ever. It's a leap year, Ismael. You know this. So yes. last leap year was 2020, and we know what happened then. So it's going to be, in my opinion, 10 times bigger than what happened then. And I don't mean in kind of a draconian way. There might be some things, but all throughout this, they've kept the people safe. The people have been safe. And people like you and me have been kept safe, because otherwise we'd have all been rounded up a long time ago. But I'm looking forward to what's coming. I don't know exactly what's coming, but I know the destination.
And that's another indicator that the white hats are real, because a lot of people are questioning them, you know. And I always tell people, if it wasn't for the white hats, we would all been forced to get the Jabba-Doo.
Yeah. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doo. We won't mention Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Dooby-Dooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doo. But yeah, that's it. And there's just going to be a Scooby-Doo ending, because Scooby-Doo ending is 166, which is the simulation, which is the White House. So we're going to see that. Wayne's World is connected to Trump. And I did this on a show with Charlie Ward back in 2020, one of my first few shows. And I made the connection between President Trump, between Bruce Wayne, who's alter ego of Batman, and Wayne's World. And Wayne's World came out in, I think it was 1991, and I was age 17, and I loved it. It was a coming of age movie. I loved it. I've always loved Wayne's World. And anyway, so what happened was you've got Wayne Tower in Batman. So Bruce Wayne, Batman, he's a billionaire vigilante. And he's, you know, there's a comparison between the Don and Bruce Wayne. And I said on the show with Charlie, I said, well, they're all connected, these three films. I said, so you've got Wayne Tower. You've also got in our timeline, the real Donald Trump, and he's got a Trump Tower. And then you've got Wayne Tower. And I said, well, there's Wayne's World, and then there's Trump World. And guess what President Trump has on one of his NFTs? A non-fungible token, 185 Donald John Trump, Book of Revelation 185, the Book of Mormon 185, and that's been caricatured because it needs it for comms. But on one of President Trump's NFTs, there's the Hollywood sign behind him. He's on the hill, and it says Trump World. And I said that would happen, and it's there in the NFT. And that came out a couple of years later. But I got the code from President Trump back in the day, so that's why I put it out. But he's completed the loop, and it's like he has an NFT saying Trump World. Instead of Hollywood, it's Trump World. And I did it on a show with Charlie years ago. Trump World, Wayne's World, Wayne Tower, Trump Tower. All three of them are connected. And so there will be a Scooby-Doo ending. That's what I was going to get at. So in the end of Wayne's World, the first show, there's a bit where and there's always these Tiffany blue cars. There's a Tiffany blue car in the film Witness. Witness is 109. 109 is 17 when you spell the word. Diana Spencer's 109 when you spell the two words. And my channel, Psych.Club, is 109, which I chose prior to knowing the numbers. I chose it in October 2019. But at the end of Wayne's World 1, the first film, there's a Scooby-Doo moment where what's his name? Benjamin, as Wayne calls him, the one played by Rob Lowe. They rip his mask off, and he's this old character. It's a Scooby-Doo ending. But that's been put there because we're in a Trump movie. It's Trump's world, and there's going to be a Scooby-Doo ending, and we're going to see all the masked characters, find out who they are, good and bad, you know. So I'm looking forward to it, buddy. I'm very much looking forward to it.
And another thing I wanted to drop, and I've been revealing this on my own YouTube channel, The Real ISMAEL Perez.
The real one, you see. That's what I'm the real Tom Numbers on Twitter. You're the real ISMAEL Perez, because we have to say when we're real, you know. Yeah.
There's so many copycats, or maybe they're bots trying to, you know, try to steal all our subscribers. But
there's only 500 real people in the world, according to some people, ISMAEL.
That's very interesting.
I'd like it to be a few more than that, but I won't be surprised at whatever the number is. I think it's lower than what we think, because I'm seeing that with this whole shenanigan with the social media. Yeah.
So I put out a video a few days ago, Monday night, titled "The White Hats Are Winning." It's going viral, by the way, providing proof.
It's always a good thing to go viral.
Yeah. And one of the things that I revealed there that was shown to me in a vision by the Guardian Alliance is that the Saint Germain Trusts, which were set into motion hundreds of years back, again, it's all working together, right? The same positive timeline, is overshadowing 45. That they said that 45 is actually a fractal of Saint Germain, a fractal, which means that Saint Germain, part of his consciousness when 45 was born, incarnated in the body of 45, part of the consciousness of Saint Germain. So Saint Germain is the founder of freedom. Saint Germain was the mysterious character that appeared at the signing of the Declaration of Independence. When everybody else was too chicken, SHIT, to sign, he appeared and he rallied, and he aroused them with a beautiful speech about freedom. And yes, in terms of the spiritual community, as we enter the age of Aquarius, that's going to be the age that's going to be overshadowed and overseen by no other than Saint Germain. And guess whose physical third dimensional counterpart is 45? 45 is Saint Germain in the flesh, a fractal, that is, of Saint Germain.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. The age of Aquarius is 174, which is the number we did just a few minutes ago. I forgot the numbers on Saint Germain. So there's a football team. There's a football team in Paris called Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain. It's the main team in France. But it's interesting because of Paris. You had Diana there. You got an eternal flame in Paris of Diana and all that stuff going on, and the trust, the funds. Sorry, I'm going to work these numbers out. What were you saying? You were saying something then as well.
Oh, just that 45 is actually a fractal incarnation of no other than Saint Germain in the flesh.
I did a show with Gene Decode last night.
Oh, really?
I love the numbers. Huh?
I like Gene. He actually referenced me in his interview with Nina Rodriguez last week.
Yeah.
Gene's so he referenced me.
Gene's really cool. And so's Nino. I was on one with Nino. I'll be on again with him in a week or so. So yeah, that's really cool. So just as I'm doing the numbers on Germain, here we go. Ready? So I'm going to just double check. So Germain, yeah. So Germain is 67, which is gene decode, which is reset, which is water, which is exchange. So that's funny. That's how the numbers work, ISMAEL. You're talking on one thing, and then another comparative and complementary number thread loops in with it at the same time. So I asked Gene about, so we were talking about, and people go and watch because the link will be there. Go and watch the video. It went out today, but when this goes up, people can go and see it. But so I asked Gene, so we were talking about pyramids. We were talking about Christmas, obviously, and we're talking about Arthur. And I forgot to mention that I saw a Pegasus or a dragon in the night sky going through Orion last week. I meant to ask Gene about that, but maybe we'll do it on the next one. And it flashed in for like half a second, and it was flapping its, like Game of Thrones. It was flapping its wings, and it was either a dragon or a Pegasus or a combo of them. And it went through the constellation of Orion, and then it disappeared as instantly as it came. So it came in, boom, and then it had gone again. I was like, wow. So, hey, maybe it was Saint Germain. Maybe he travels on one of those. But so let's look at the numbers on this. So that was it. I was asking Gene if he had any feelings about who we were talking about, Merlin and Arthur, and I asked him, does he have any feelings about who a modern day character on the board right now could be Arthur? And he said he felt Trump could be him. So we looked at that, and there were some number correlations with it. So it's interesting that you talk about Saint Germain as well for Trump, because that seems to make sense as well. So let's have a look. Let's look at the so Saint, I believe, is 63. Let me just double check. I haven't done it for a little while. Yeah, it is. So Saint Germain comes to 130. Paris Saint-Germain. And Paris is 63 as well. So you've got Paris Saint, and that's 63, which ties into Kennedy. You know, I think it might even be. I think they're all I think all these main characters are all like this fractal table, you know, like the Christ consciousness, this fractal table. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a connection with Trump in fact, I know there's a connection with JFK and Trump.
Absolutely. They come from the same historical genealogy. I've discovered that. They're a house of King David, by the way, the real descendants of King David, not the oligarchs, you know, not the human reptilian hybrids that have been running the show for thousands of years. They come from the house of Lucifer Babylon, which is Enki. So the good guys come from the house of David, which was established in our world through Zeus, you know, the good guys. Zeus, which is also Enlil, by the way.
Yeah. Well, Paris, if you do Paris Saint Germain, that comes to the quantum system. But if you just do Paris Saint Germain without the dot, that comes to 169. Trump Tower, The Great Awakening, Thomas Bushnell, Robert Zemeckis. Yeah, that's so interesting. Paris Saint Germain, or Saint Germain Trust. Well, and there's a lot of money in that trust. There's a lot of money in there. The spiritual white boy trust. There's a lot of money in that for everybody.
Well, a lot of that money was preserved by no other than the Knights Templars, who were the heroes during the Dark Evil Ages or the Dark Ages in Europe. And so they were preserving the gold from the Vatican. It was a whole-out battle to see who could hoard most of the world's gold between the Vatican and the Knights Templars. So what the Knights Templars did is they reorganized as the pirates. The original pirates 500 years ago were no other than the reorganized Templars under a new banner or a new name. But still, you know, the agenda will still remain, which was to establish the sovereign nation state democracy through our founding fathers, by the way. So they were all.
When you're saying about pirates, it's making me think of the Pirates of Penzance, which is down right at the tip of the southern coast of England, Cornwall, and there's pirates traditionally along here, the Jurassic Coast. You obviously got Jurassic Park with that, but so when you said Knights, this is the beauty of it. So Knights Templar, Knights with the S is 88 Trump, and then Templars 85, which is Storm. So you've got Knights Templar, and interestingly enough, that comes to 173 in numbers. So you've got Knights Templar 173, you've got Trump Storm 173, or Trump Silver 173, Rhodium plus Silver 173. But get this as well, Ishmael. So we talked about the connection between President Trump and President JFK. JFK's birthday is May 29th. JFK's assassination stroke, greatest Houdini trick of all time to preserve himself, witness protection, comes to, so is November 22nd, but the difference of the days in between, if you include the days, is 173 days, and 173 is Knights Templar.
Yeah. So they were the white hats. They were the white hats that endured the the Dark Ages, when the Catholic Church was dominant back in Europe for what, 1700 years. If it wasn't for the Knights Templars, we would have never had the Reformation, which led to the Renaissance, which led to the scientific revolution, and then eventually the reestablishment of the sovereign nation state democracy. So this whole concept of our republic, or our constitution rather, was a millennial project laid down by the descendants of King David and Solomon when the nine Frenchmen excavated the old remnant ruins of the Solomon Temple, and they discovered the plan to reestablish America. But to them, it was a symbolic treasure written by Solomon himself, by the way. So it's all connected to the Whiteheads. See, the Whiteheads have always existed.
Yes.
Under different names, because if it wasn't for the Whiteheads, we would have already been under a draconian system of absolute power and control.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And you say about millennium. So millennium is 122, which is America first. It's Kansas City, interestingly enough. But Great Millennium, which the Knights Templar were helping bring about, comes to 173 Knights Templar. So Great Millennium, Jassara Millennium, the 1,000 years of peace. Jassara Millennium comes to 173. And there was another one on I was doing there with Kennedy. What was it? Oh, you said Solomon. There you go. So ages ago. Huh?
Yeah, King Solomon, the son of King
Solomon. Yeah, Solomon. So ages ago, in the first year of 2020, it does feel like ages ago, although it's been a blink of an eye as well. Blink of an eye, 143. They keep telling that on the television. They keep telling us on the sports when I'm watching the football. So they know November 5th is coming up, which is 143, blink of an eye. But Solomon. So when President Trump was doing the Abraham Accords, when he did the second announcement of the Abraham Accords, or the second one during the 2020, he sat there and he's talking and he's joking with the press and he's saying, I wanted to call it the Donald John Trump Accords, but the press wouldn't like that. So, and he's laughing. And I did a show with Janine about that. And I feel that when we used to see POTUS doing those Abraham Accords, it was sometimes actual JFK one in a mask being Donald. Because Donald, when the real Donald Trump is the one that was always out on the tarmac talking to the press. And there's other times as well, but you could see a distinct difference between them. And I've said this before, there's, people, if they've got their eyes open, they can see there's a few Trumps. But one of them, the eyes kind of go up. That's the POTUS one. And then the real Donald Trump kind of smiles downwards. Sometimes it can change as well in between when he's got a different expression, but that's the majority of it. And I think there's more than two. But the POTUS, sometimes, a lot of the time, was, I think, with JFK dressed up as him. And he joked, he said, I wanted to call it the Donald Trump Accords, but the press wouldn't like that. So we called it the Abraham Accords. Now, Father Abraham obviously is the head of Christianity, traditionally Christianity, Muslims, and Jews, all the three main religions at that point, and also the other, religions and beliefs in the world. But traditionally, those three, they've all gone for the Dome of the Rock. Dome of the Rock is 138, which is Donald Trump. Revaluation, the Savior, 138. It's all there. It's all been coded. It's gold revaluation. The gold reset, 138. But he also did a classic Donald Trump POTUS misspeak. And he said in that whole, you can see it on YouTube in the 45 archives on YouTube, it's there. Anyone can pull it up. And he jokes and he mispronounces one of the guys in the Middle East that he's done the deal with. And instead of, I don't think it's Soleimani, because I think that was one of the baddies, wasn't it? But there was another guy, and he mispronounces the name deliberately, and he basically says Solomon, and he's saying I'm Solomon, and Solomon in numbers is 103, which comes to Jack Kennedy. So he was telling us that was JFK misspeaking about someone else saying Solomon, and joking about how he wanted to call the Accords after himself, i.e. Donald Trump, but Solomon 103 is Jack Kennedy. That's the beauty of it. That's how they do it,
Pretty much, yeah.
All the white hats, through time and reincarnating back and forth, and a lot of us lot, I think, have been doing it Tom Bushnell 141 is Reincarnation. And I always had a good heart and was always searching for the truth. But until we went through that period of 2020, right at the beginning, and a lot of us got activated to another level. 141 is quantum leap. We went through a quantum leap. And the thing about next year is we're going to go through another quantum leap. We're going to get other gifts. There'll be numbers, and there's other gifts that I've got that are around the periphery, but they're going to go tenfold again. And everyone else that is ready for that is going to jump up, because that's what we need. We need to go from dark to light, and it's going to be very clear who's who on the board. But yeah, I've always felt that, and I've talked about it before, but not for a while, about the Knights Templar. So thanks for bringing that up, Ishmael, because that's true. Knights Templar sometimes get an unfair whack from people. They don't understand, but I've always known intrinsically. Jack Kidd, he's one of my buddies. He was part of the Knights Templar. A lot of us were,
A lot of us were, yeah, and a lot of us were burned at the stake during this, dark ages. We were born as the medicine people. We were born as, they called us witches and alchemists, but at the same time, we preserved the spiritual knowledge during a time when the Vatican was in absolute control of Europe. Now, don't get me wrong, Tom. After the persecution of the Knights, they reorganized as the Pirates, and then some went to Scotland, creating the Scottish Rite. And these were the good Masons, by the way. The original Masons were benevolent. Unfortunately, after the Masons were able to give us the Republic, the Constitution of the United States government, through the Founding Fathers, who were, by the way, the carriers of the long-time millennial project that was laid down by the Templars, almost 1,000 years prior to that. Unfortunately, they were infiltrated by Adam Weesopp's Illuminati, who was working with the Jesuits. And so the dark forces always infiltrate benevolent societies. And that's why today we have Masons that are corrupt, Masons that are dark, while we have some Masons that remained loyal to the light, to the original tenets of freedom. And unfortunately, a lot of the Knights, like the modern day Knights Templars, are working with or have been infiltrated by the Cabal. But it doesn't mean that they were evil in medieval times, because, otherwise, why would the Vatican persecute them? Why were they burned? Jacques de Molay, the Grand Master, in 1307, which, by the way, was on Friday the 13th, when they burned, the Grand Master of the Templars. Why would they do that if they were in cahoots with the Cabal? You know what I mean? They did that because of the fact that the Knights Templars were in direct opposition to the Empire, through to the Holy Roman Catholic agenda of resurrecting the Roman Empire.
1307, you say, yeah?
Yeah, that was the year that the Vatican, under the infiltrator known as Philip the Bell, who rose to power in France, and Pope Clementine, who was another Luciferian Jesuit. So, it's really the Jesuits who we have been fighting for the last 500 years. The Jesuits have infiltrated everything. They control the educational system, everything. So that's been the core of the Cabal for the last 500 years. Now, of course, the power has shifted over to the technocrats, and, big, BLACK rock and VANG AURD. Want to pronounce those, and then, of course, at the core of that,
the White Van Club, them lot.
Now we have the Octagon group, which
you said Black. You're not Black Friday. That's a misspeak. You said about Friday the 13th. Do you know what month that was? In 137.
When they burned the Grand Master at stake? I believe could have been October 31st.
I was going to say October. That's the one I'm thinking. It feels like October to me, because the word October in numbers is 78, which is Kennedy, and you said it was in 1037. Is that right? You said 1037 was the year.
The year was 1307. 1307.
Sorry, 1307. You can see on my mind. So not 1037, but 1307. So if you drop the 0, you've got 137. 137 comes to the word 17th.
Oh, see.
And it also comes to the word, or two words, President JFK. So I wonder if that guy might have been JFK back then as well, if it was done in October.
Think about it. Yeah, they reincarnate. They kill him off again.
Yeah.
We always try to kill off the members of the white hats throughout all of history.
Yeah. You know what? There's a connection between JFK, JFK1, Nikola Tesla, Baron Trump, and Christ. And if you do Jesus of Nazareth, Nazareth is 93, which is Flotus, which is Bushnell, Hungarian, interestingly enough. But if you do Jesus of Nazareth, that's 188 in numbers. And 188 in numbers is also the coronavirus, and that's what they brought in, obviously, in 2020. And prior to that, in England, but it was global, but it was in England, we had Brexit. And I didn't understand Brexit until I got to 2020. But Brexit in numbers is 78, which is Kennedy. So they were saying that all the time there in Gematria. And then we got to the coronavirus, which is 188, which is Show Me the Money, which is Close Encounters, which is Jesus of Nazareth, which is President Kennedy. And it's like, huh. And you think of the two, I mean, okay, there's been historic ones, you just mentioned them, but the ones that we know in our time, the most kind of graphic and well-known deaths would have been Christ's and JFK's that we know of. Because everybody knows about Christ's death in this day and age, and most people know obviously about JFK. Historically, ones, you know, back in the time, there would have been other ones as well, but it could have been, you know, those two, and maybe even the third one that you've just mentioned, you know, and they keep getting rid of them. But now, with the 1,000-year period, they can't get rid of them anymore. You know, they're immortal. The Highlanders. The Highlander is 119, which is Nikola Tesla redemption. And it's all to do with the dove. It's all to do with the white dove. It's all to do with the sign of the dove, you know. The dove is the antidote for the matrix.
The return of the Christ. The return
That's
of
it.
the King.
The return of the Christ, the return of the King. And then Nikola Tesla wrote that book, The Return of the Dove. Nikola Tesla wrote the book, The Return of the Dove. And you've got pictures of Trump holding a dove. And I'm sure if we dig around, there'll be others of the main characters that had doves around them. Yeah. Yeah. The return of the King, the return of the Christ, return of the dove. Yeah. It's glorious, buddy. It's going to be glorious. Huh?
Yeah, we see it in every movie, you know, and in Star Wars is the return of the Jedi. In Lord of the Rings is the return of the King, you know, in Chronicles of Narnia is the return of Aslan. They all are metaphorically representing the return of righteousness on earth, or the rule of righteousness and justice back to the earth.
Exactly, buddy. That's exactly what it is. So I've got one in terms of return. So return is 96, which is February, which is Aquarius, the month of Aquarius. I was born in February. When's your birthday? What month are you? Are you
November.
Leo?
November 1st.
You're November. Well, remember the 5th of November. November's Ace of Spades, 94, John 94. But pineapple as well. They use that a lot on the other side in symbolism. But anyway, pineapple is great. But so Diana, Princess Diana, who would have been all a part of this, the Templars, and you know, she's still around, but she's got to come back. All these characters have got to come back. Mm-hmm. So one of the important numbers in Back to the Future is 176, which is November the 5th, level playing field, November 176. Mm-hmm. Full disclosure, 176. The quantum field, 176. They have to travel at 88 miles per hour in the movie to time travel. 88 is Trump, 88 is Tartaria, 88 is Romanov, if you spell it OFF. Scotland's 88. You talked about how the Templars went to Scotland and other places. Edinburgh's 88, Copenhagen's 88, Budapest is 88, Moscow's 88, California's 88, Purple's 88. All of these 88 is super powerful. It's the Lion's Gate. You have to travel at 88 miles per hour. If you do the phrase 88 miles per hour and you spell it out, it comes to 282. So it's a palindrome number, it's 282, so it's super potent. But if you do return of Princess Diana, guess what that comes to, Ishmael? It comes to 282. 282. She's going to come back at some point. She has to come back, you know? 282, 88 miles per hour, the film I've been talking about for ages, and that phrase within Back to the Future also comes to Return of Princess Diana, 282. And it was her essence that was telling me the numbers right at the beginning in March of 2020, when I got the download, 88 Trump, of numbers within the space of 2 or 3 weeks. You know, 3 PhDs worth of numbers, just there you go. Okay, all right. Okay, I run with it. But it started with her. Well, it started with Ivanka in 2015 when I met her, but the actual alphabet started with Diana, and then looking at Arlington Cemetery with JFK, thinking it was JFK Jr. at the time, and listening to President Trump. All that happened all at once, but it started the inception in March 2020 with Diana. She's going to come back. 88 miles per hour, 282, Return of Princess Diana, 282. Back to the Future, 176. November the 5th, 176. It's the election next year. It's the calling election made sure, 246.
I'm excited about 2024.
Yeah, it is. It's like, it's all of those things, you know? So all things have to come to an end in mortality, including wars.
Exactly.
You know?
I agree.
And so it has to come. There's all these different levels, but we have to come to a fulcrum. We have to come to the fulcrum. We have to come to the flip moment of where we all line up together and go forward. And that's what all these unopen, unended, incomplete loops are that go on. And they'll eventually have to be sewn together, and then off we go, you know.
Absolutely, my friend. Because in the end,
stuff, buddy. What's that?
Because in the end, God always wins, no matter what.
Exactly. God always wins, no matter what. Amazingly put. Yes, he does. So, well, thanks, buddy. Merry Christmas to you.
Likewise.
I'll see you in the new year. And click the links below. Get some last-minute Christmas goodies. Ishmael's a fan. I'm a fan. And the links will be below. So.
And again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, The Real Ishmael Perez.
Yes, do that.
Eliminate all those copycats that exist that are stealing my content.
That's it. Get on Ishmael's channel. Go to my new YouTube channel, which is Top of Your Game with Tom Numbers. And that's it. Click and follow Ishmael. Click and follow me. So, God bless you, buddy. It's good to have you on the show again.
Likewise, brother. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Yeah.
May the force be with you. May the force be with us. Well, it's coming. It's coming anyway. It's just great to be part of it. It's great to be on the journey, you know. And 2024, the year that dreams come true. Actually, you know what? I've got a quote. I'm going to do a video on this. President Trump sent me a book. So I got, people know I got some NFTs, but I won a book I'm going to show you this. I'm going to read this out just as a close. Okay. So I'm going to do a proper video on it, but this seems appropriate to share. So I got this yesterday. So President Trump sent this. I'll do a reverb where I take it out of the box and everything, but I was excited to get it out. So I got it out last night and had a look. But this is something that's appropriate. And I think this is something that can hold people and give them comfort and reassurance going into 2024. So this is, I'm going to show this. Do you want to read that out, Ishmael? Can you read it?
This is, no dream is too big, no challenge too great. Nothing we want for our future is beyond our reach.
There you go. And when I read that, I'm sure I've heard him say that before or something similar, but it really hit home. I was like, wow, what a powerful opening to the book. No dream is too big, no challenge too great. Nothing we want for our future 91, POTUS 91, Space Force 91, Liberty 91 is beyond our reach. So he's telling us clearly that no dream is too big, no challenge too great. Nothing we want for our future is beyond our reach. Nothing. That includes resurrection. That includes all our dreams coming true. That includes all the brokenheartedness of this mortality, that people had their dreams shattered. He's telling us, through the power of the higher dimensions, through the power of our higher selves, through God, through the creation, that all things can be achieved, and they will be. And that's the magic of this moment. That's the magic of this reality. We have all these dreams, all these things and aspirations, and then we're caught in the drudge of the 3D world. We're going from that. That's not allowed to permit anymore. And 2024 is going to be the beginning of opening all the wonderful presents that the white hats, our future selves, past selves, God, all the good things are coming to those that are righteous, like you said. I liked how you said that earlier. So, yeah. Good journey, brother. Good journey. I'll see you soon.
All right. Take care, Tom. Have a good one.
Thanks, Ishmael. Take care.